And my next book covers this idea of my own journey to let go of hope. And it was a deep, it involved incredible grief.
Yeah.
Because as a climate activist, to let go of hope as the thing that kind of kept us moving forward, that we could sell in seductively to the people around us, you know. Without it, what do we have? And what I find really interesting, of course, that grief journey takes us to acceptance. Giving away chapter 3, I sort of say the actual salve is to really adult up into truth. And truth actually becomes an incredible relief when we can sit in truth, because what it does is it actually resolves the cognitive dissonance that so many of us are feeling.
Yeah.
Hang on, if we're being told that, look, if we do this, we might make it, but then we're also told, hang on, if we go past 1.5, we won't make it, and we're past 1.5, what is going on? And that cognitive dissonance is causing incredible amounts of moral injury.
Yeah.
And in a post-capitalist world, neoliberal world, where we're meant to shoulder the responsibility for fixing that, it's just causing incredible pain. And so truth, acceptance, it's same. There's a space where we can land, which is actually, to me, incredibly sacred. And it's not a fix. Per Jem Bendel, I'm sure you're very familiar with his work, we don't have solutions anymore, we have outcomes, and we have to sit with these. So my question really sort of stems from your Christian faith and that move into the Christian faith and the journey you've been on. How are you doing acceptance?
Yeah. Oh, there's so much in there, Sarah. So I think the first thing to say, and I always want to say, whatever audience I'm talking to, people will have some really negative associations around that word. And there may be people who were like, Sarah, why are you talking to this woman? Because
sounds like giving up, doesn't it?
Well, no, I actually mean the Christianity bit.
Oh, the Christianity bit, okay.
It is, there are people who carry bruises and wounds and the outcomes of institutional failures. And in some ways, I find myself surprised to be back here finding what I need in this tradition, right? It has sometimes comes as a shock to me that this is where I have found the strongest medicine for this moment. But I have. And it's really interesting, as you were talking, I was like, have I given up hope? And I was like, I think hope means something different to me. So the reason I went on this journey and so fully alive was like, I am overwhelmed. I am too often tipping into grief and despair. Therefore, I'm not loving my neighbor. And I set out to try and spend a life loving my neighbor, right? And loving my enemy. These are the ethical call. But when we're in fight or flight anxiety, which you write about so brilliantly, we shut down, we can't do empathy, we can't do listening, we can't do understanding, we just hoard and protect. I was like, I don't want to live like that. I want to find a way to be moving outward. And funnily enough, my tradition, and I'd be really interested in both of our kind of communities of listeners feeding in from other wisdom traditions, because my guess is most religions do this. They go...
in their original form.
Yes, that was certainly Christianity, which is the only thing I have any expertise in, as far as I have any expertise. It's an apocalyptic religion, right? I was reading a piece in scripture.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, in my scripture yesterday, and it's from Peter, and it says that 1 Peter, the end of all things is near. Therefore, love each other deeply and practice hospitality without grumbling, right?
Without grumbling?
Without grumbling. It's like,
wow, the
end of the world is coming. So what you should do is you should move towards each other, love each other deeply, practice hospitality. And all of this book was written with the assumption that the world was ending, Jesus was coming back soon. And what should you do? You should love your neighbor and love your enemy. You should put your roots down deep. You should seek to be growing in faith and hope and love and goodness and patience and kindness, not picking up your guns and building yourself a prepper bunker.
And
right?
canning.
Exactly. Or canning for the good of your neighbors.
Yes.
Right? I'm like, okay, I have some prepper tendencies. I need to recover my ancestral knowledge. I need to learn how to grow food. We've moved into this small community to try and live more sustainably and networks of mutual care. But my tradition says to me, all of that has to be in service of your neighbor, of others, because we are each other's safety.
Yes.
We are each other's home. And my sense has been always that there have been other ends of the world, right? There have been like plagues, the fall of Jerusalem, the fall of Rome, the Holocaust, right? Humans have lived through ends of the world.
And it's not always the end of the world, or it's the end of incredibly profound ideas that humanity has clung to and felt they would not survive without it.
Exactly. Systems, structures, cultural stories of what we were. I was raised in my middle class, middle of the road life, that I would have a nice middle class, middle of the road life, right? And there would be prosperity
and
systems, infinite growth. And I could self-express myself and really not be in discomfort or awkwardness or need to fend for myself in any way.
And life would only get less uncomfortable because that is what we're here for, to remove discomfort.
That's fully aliveness. And so what I have found in my tradition is this both very stark, you were never promised that the world would go on forever. You were never promised stable democracy, comfortable prosperity, like the early church lived through. Much the opposite of that. What you were promised is that love is stronger than death. That there is something underneath all these systems and these human idols and these ways we fuck up, which is another way I define sin. Human propensity to fuck things up. All the ways we disconnect, which is another way I think about sin. Something beyond that, and there's something under it. And so my hope is not that we can save ourselves as humans. I just don't think that was ever the promise, but that there is something, that there is love, right, to catch us. And that when we can move through the terror into relationship with each other, I have this funny thing that actually there is one way this goes, which is we remember who we're supposed to be and we live in ways that are actually more life-giving anyway.
Yeah.